thanks for being here. We appreciate it. It's at the end of the day, so it's brain's winding down. But today we're going to explore Drupal Canvas and how it grows with your team. And it makes adding new features effortless and keeps your projects flexible and scalable. And we're going to share some real examples and lessons on our own journey of creating Drupal Canvas so you can apply them to your own work. And I'm Renee Lund, and I have been the designer working on Drupal Canvas the past, since creation. And this is Christina.
Yeah, I'm Christina, and I have not been designing Drupal Canvas. It's all her amazing work, but seriously, and I'm going to help and with anything integrating that in the future.
Yeah. So, to get started here, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Having issues. Why is it not going?
Can you maybe close it and...
Sorry, everybody. What? Do you know what it's
just got there. So this is the other screen.
You dive?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. It's wrong. I know.
Sorry. Okay, so quick show of hands. Who has moved recently or thought about updating or remodeling their home in the last 5 years? Anyone?
Oh God.
Okay, yeah. So if you've ever moved or remodeled your home, you know how it is to have to evolve to fit your needs and your situation. So Canvas kind of works the same way. So it's going to help us expand, rearrange, and adapt our digital space while keeping what already works. So I put some cute pictures of my dogs on here and show some cute fall stuff. But the dogs are for fun. Anyway, so framing this around, think of Drupal Canvas like a house, right? And so today we're going to talk about how we are discovering the why and explore the how and learn best practices and apply and reflect. So to kind of get started here, I'm going to, this is irritating.
And so you should click on there.
Can you see everything?
No, do you see the arrow there? No, go. So I think it goes that side. Okay, here, and you click on that.
Okay, so we're discovering the why. So let's discover why we built Canvas this way. So going into this next piece here, we needed to ensure that we had a strong foundation. So growth is exciting, but without a solid foundation, it can get super messy. And Drupal Canvas was designed to prevent that. It lets your platform evolve and expand without disrupting what already works. So everything you'll see today ties back to that core principle. Here is the Drupal Canvas house that can grow with you and scale with you and your team. And so it's meant to take those building blocks and plug and play and go, and the house is going to keep evolving with you. That's the analogy. So what makes a foundation stable? Well, before you can pour the foundation, you need to lay the groundwork. You need to have good alignment between all three of these disciplines. So you've got technology, business, users, so traditionally like UX, product, and engineering. And so this serves as your blueprint, right? Before you start moving into the foundation, you need to be aligned. So what does that look like? So it begins with system and structure down at the bottom. So leveraging things like design systems, information architecture, and going into collaboration and experience, making sure that there's a shared language between you and whoever you're working with, and make sure that your patterns are predictable and intuitive, because people need to know how to use your stuff. Next part is it's going to continue to evolve, so you're going to have to keep coming back and refining things. As we all know, that's just how software is. So what methods can we use to build these foundations? In the sense of what we did for Drupal Canvas for the approach, you can see we've got some sitemaps and information architecture down on the bottom left there. And so this was a really good way for us and the team to communicate and have deliverables where we could illustrate decision making and use this as common language. and again, give us that bird's eye view so we could start plugging and playing with like the design system of Radix and being able to move a little bit faster because we planned well. So how explore the how. So we wanted to make sure that we had the curb appeal. We're staying in our property line and we're balancing contributors and users. So since we have a great community, we need to also have a little bit of guardrails in order for people to contribute appropriately and make sure that there's harmony throughout the experience and users can adequately come in and do their job. So some areas that you can extend. I like this little graphic because it's kind of like all of these different things working together in order to achieve one goal, right? So like, again, back with the house analogy, these are all the areas that you can extend. So we look at this bird's eye view of Experience Builder, and you're going to see how we can use these different spaces to extend and like see your different contributions. So this left sidebar, this is the area in which you're going to see things like your components. You're going to be able to add and edit components through this piece. And then a couple different ways that you can, create different building blocks. Think of things like custom hero sections, integration widgets, reusable content patterns, or specific components that are tied to like the industry that you're in. So this piece here is see how your building blocks will show up in Canvas. You get a nice visual preview before you're pulling them out, and so whoever's building it, they'll be able to see this when they, open it up to whoever else or content editor can look at it and pull it on the page. And the next piece is the property panel. So think of the property panel as fine-tuning those adjustments on those components. So these are set up by the creators of said components. So people can come in and easily polish or kind of change things the way that they want to. In this instance right here, I am showing what it looks like for the user to come in and be able to change those settings appropriately on the right hand panel. And there's guardrails, right, because it's already predetermined, so you're not going to get a content editor in there like going willy-nilly. Like these are pre-approved, already set up by the appropriate teammates. So the next piece is the extensions, and this piece is really cool because this is where you can start to get that context vision. So you can see how modules kind of look like today. They're kind of all over the place and they're kind of scattered throughout. In this instance, I'm going to just kind of showcase the Acquia Optimize extension that we leverage. So right now it's kind of hard to get context because you're switching from different UIs and different screens, very much like a lot of the Drupal workflows today. But in this instance, the way that we took the application of putting the extension in this modal, the user gets to see things happening in real time and can actually just focus on that job to be done. So in this instance, they're checking out, accessibility, that sort of thing. So they can close it whenever they want, and this is another area in which you can extend. So we have some best practices here that, we can reinforce as you're moving some of this along or trying to contribute. I'll let Christina take these.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is important. How many of you are designers in here? Okay, 3. And the rest of you, are developers or close to developers or have background on development. Okay, so following the analogy of a house, everybody has an opinion about design. And I love it, but there are some rules. And even though it looks like design is just having an opinion, there are rules on that. And those rules are, for example, Gestalt or the UX laws or the Nielsen normal. It doesn't mean that you have to know all these things, but it's important that you know that they exist. So when designers make a decision, it's not because it looks nice. well, maybe for some trained eyes, it just don't recall exactly which is the law that you're following, but there are laws behind the things. So it's super important that you define what you want to deliver first, and you start in there. Then align the goals of that with the user. What is the user going to do? Then leverage familiar patterns and best practices. Familiar patterns means that don't reinvent the wheel. So if there is a button for doing that, just use a button. Don't come up with a card with designs and things moving. Just go with what is in there. So when you're going to decide what to integrate with Canvas, it's important that you build for the people that is going to use what you're building. So if you're building a module or a contrib module for site builders, you have to take that into account. What is the rest of the tool that the site builder is going to work. If you're working for editors, take that in mind. What's the background that the editor is going to have? So in general, empower both the editors and the final users to do their best and follow their common patterns. So keep controls predictable for them. So again, don't reinvent the wheel for them. And make obviously the extensions to enhance the workflow, not make things complicated because you just found, as a developer, you just found, oh, there's a hole in here, I'm gonna just put my whole module in there. So she just shared the areas where things can actually fit. It would be great to actually follow the system and keep with the harmony across the system. So when you think about which things you're going to try to integrate with Canvas, don't reinvent the wheel. Review which other tools are actually doing similar jobs. So if you don't find examples on Canvas, you can actually go and search on other things, because we are just starting, so maybe there are not that many examples. So just, for example, search other tools, but also we're going to have these Drupal Canvas docs and guides. So there is going to be enough information in there in theory to how use things and examples to follow. But it's super important that you keep interactions easy to understand. So meaning the less interactions, the better. And obviously, please test the things when you integrate them.
Yeah, so taking all of this in, it's time to apply and reflect, right? So again, these principles to remember, I think number one is build with people in mind, right? Like, there are real human beings using this stuff, so you need to think about those use cases and what they're coming in here to do. And then the other piece is that Drupal Canvas is gonna keep growing, like it's just gonna keep getting better and you're gonna have to iterate. But the key thing to remember is that you need to approach with curiosity and have a growth mindset. And it's okay to keep experimenting and learning and improving, and just build with intention. So make tools that actually help teams thrive, right? So how will you use Canvas to shape what comes next? Thank you for sitting through all of that and the pain of all the technical difficulties. Any questions? Or do you want me to go back to any slides since this got kind of broken up, or?
And yeah, there is like the closing session, or there is no closing session?
But they have a few minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Was there a particular aspect of the UI that was especially challenging, from just like a tough nut to crack, to try to make it more user friendly? Or, I mean, there's a lot going on.
I think like not even specific UI, I think like the scalability of it, because we are building this iteratively and like it's in smaller processes, right? Like what are those key things that are going to make this product continue to be successful for people to do like their main jobs, their main tasks, and then being able to consider like lay out that floor plan and understand what's coming next, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot later on. Like if you, for instance, the extensions was a really big one. Like that's something that we hadn't had the capacity to like tackle right away, but we knew it would be coming because of the different ways that it's leveraged throughout Drupal today. So that was definitely a way that we needed to consider as we kept laying things out and that sort of thing.
All right.